Hi, museum members. This is Joe in Orlando, Florida at the Cyndi Museum. And this week I thought I would do a short little feature on Patrick Lucas. As you may have heard, Patrick passed away this past week, and we're very sad to hear that. The short version is we believe he had a heart attack and that he did not suffer. So thankfully, it seems like he went very quickly this past Wednesday. So we got to know Patrick about a little over a year ago when we knew we would be going to see Cyndi at the Hollywood Bowl in California. And I had been in touch with Patrick before, and he was nice enough to host David and I. He said that we were welcome to come to his house and meet him, and we told him we would take him out to dinner. And he was so nice. He welcomed us immediately. It felt as if we were immediate friends. We went to dinner, and he talked a lot about his life. And the thing about Patrick is you don't ask Patrick questions. You don't get to interview him. He just talks. And so we learned a lot about a lot of different things, including his experiences with other celebrities. And so on occasion, he would sprinkle in something about Cyndi. And of course, that was the most interesting thing to me. But it was fun because you're always on a ride with Patrick and you never know what you're going to hear. So we heard some pretty interesting things. Needless to say, he talked about growing up in New York City in the 80s and almost dying of AIDS. And so it was interesting to actually meet somebody who had gone through that and to hear about the different evolutions of his career. But needless to say, you don't ask any questions about Cyndi. You just let him go on and on and on. And he had some interesting things to say. And maybe one day I'll tell you guys more about that. But we stayed in good contact. And I talked to him last week. I won't go into too much detail because I don't necessarily know who's watching, but he was a good guy, he was a very generous person, very kind, very down to earth. So he never felt as if he were better than anybody. He was very kind of I won't say self-deprecating, but he never built himself up enough. And he didn't realize or didn't acknowledge how much us fans really liked and appreciated him. And when I told him that, he was a hero to many of us, he was always very kind but embarrassed and was quick to kind of deflect that. But anyway, when we were there in LA and we saw his house, it was very nondescript. In other words, it wasn't flashy. He didn't have things from his career. The only thing that he had hung in regard to Cyndi was this gold record. And, I was kind of asking him, I said, why don't you keep these things out or put more out? And honestly, he just didn't seem interested. He had lots of other things going on in his life. Later, he contacted me and asked if I wanted to purchase this for the museum, and I did. But my favorite story is while we were there and looking through some of his Polaroids and, negotiating a purchase of some things, he actually gave me this slide for free. He said, I really want you to have this slide. Now, we've all seen this picture before, but this was his copy of the slide, and he was very proud of it. And he said, if I give this free slide to you, just do me a favor, blow it up, and have it framed. And so the good news is I did that. And so he was very happy to see that it was blown up and framed like he asked me to do. And I'm glad that we got to do that before he passed away. What else? I would just say that he was very happy that he made such an impact in Cyndi's career, and he was happy that Cyndi stayed in touch with him. They remained friends. So I think he had a very good, full life. He probably lived a lot longer than he expected. So I just wanted to tell you what little I knew, and maybe some of you have talked to Patrick. I know some of you have talked to Patrick. So maybe you guys can share some comments about your interactions with him. Thanks for listening. Bye.